From your home of the 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics, this is KHQ Local News at 5 right now.
Today, my first order will close all K through 12 public and private schools in every district across the state of Washington. Schools will close from 12:01 a.m. Tuesday, March 17th through 12 p.m. Friday, April 24th.
It's probably a smart decision to be proactive.
A little stressful on parents, but for the best?
I think so, yeah.
Breaking news, and Governor Jay Inslee closing all schools in Washington state, and the parents that are impacted are responding. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Vigil. The governor using his power to take extraordinary measures to prevent the coronavirus from spreading any further. It is a 180 from the Spokane Regional Health District's chief, who said this morning that he was not recommending schools be closed. There are many questions that still have no answers. First, what this all means for parents, and probably the biggest question, what working parents with young kids are supposed to do for 6 weeks while their kids are unable to attend school. Team coverage for you now. Our team's set to answer those questions for you. We start with KHQ's Peter Maxwell. And Pete, you talked with the superintendent of Spokane Public Schools.
Well, good evening, Steph. It was imminent that the governor was going to be announcing that all schools in the state of Washington to close down until April 24th to stop the rapid spread of COVID-19. And starting this Monday, Spokane Public Schools will be operating as a transition day for staff and families to get used to the closure. They're also respecting any family who wants to keep their kids home from school that day. Now, parents, students, and families can retrieve personal belongings, including medications and other personal essential items, on that Monday. Superintendent Shelley Redinger sent this email out to families, and it reads in part, quote, "We will provide resources and materials to offer students opportunities to learn at home. This includes digital tools and other materials that individual teachers may send home with students. Responding to this situation is fluid, and we will adjust our plan to support students as information becomes available. Spokane Public Schools is prepared to provide child care services for parents working in healthcare roles, first responders, and vulnerable populations. We will also be providing meals to all Spokane Public School students. We will be communicating details regarding student learning opportunities, child care services, and nutrition services to you through email, text, on the district website, and through social media." Take a listen.
So we're working very closely with the state in terms of how they're going to have some exemptions, and so that more students can have access to the meals. And so that is something we're working on. Right now, we expect to have food hubs, distribution hubs throughout the community for families, and so that every part of our community can be served.
And more information continues to trickle in minute by minute. We'll keep you updated if anything else does change. Reporting in downtown Spokane, I'm Peter Maxwell, KHQ Local News.
All right, Pete, thank you. And Spokane Public Schools is one of dozens of school districts in our region. We're tracking their message to parents as best as possible. You can find that on KHQ.com. KHQ's Noelle Ashley has also been calling districts and speaking with parents. Noelle?
Yes, Steph, I've been reaching out to local school districts ever since Governor Inslee's announcement that they all will be closing on Tuesday. Now, many of them are still working to put together statements, both for us in the media and for you all as parents. Now, we've seen updates from Spokane Public Schools, Meade, and East Valley, to name a few, and others are coming fast and furious. So right now, school districts around the Spokane area are asking families, please be patient as we work out our plans of action. They're also asking families to watch Facebook pages and school websites for updates from the individual districts. So we checked in with parents to see what they thought about the announcement to close schools, and some of the ones we spoke to weren't necessarily in favor of that decision at this point.
I think for this side of the state, since we don't have any confirmed cases at this point, I think it's a little maybe overprotective time, but you know what, in the end, if it makes this go away faster, then it is the right call in the end.
Again, parents, keep an eye on your child's school district website, Facebook pages, your email, and your phone. Now, the districts I spoke to today told me that they're all going to try to keep in touch through those channels, so keep a close eye on those, and also keep an eye on KHQ.com. We will post updates for you there as we get them. In Spokane, I'm Noelle Lashley, KHQ Local News.
Noelle, thank you. With Governor Inslee now closing all schools across the state of Washington, it is leaving parents that work with a bind with really what to do with their kids. KHQ's Ayana Likens spoke with the daycare facility today to see what their plans are during all of this. Ayana?
Yeah, Steph, Southeast Daycare Center here in Spokane said they are going to remain open for as long as they can. They say it's important for them to remain open because they want to lend a helping hand to those parents. Now a quiet place due to nap time is filled with children of all ages. Southeast Daycare Center says even through the coronavirus, they will stay open.
Parents need to know that they have a place for their children so they can carry on what they need to do.
She tells me that they are carrying on as they normally would.
I don't want to get into a panic mode. I don't want to panic parents. I've had several of them ask me, what are your preparations? What are you doing about this? And we do the same thing we do every day.
Everyday things such as cleaning the toys daily, washing the kids' hands, and wiping the surfaces down with bleach. She says that the facility has only ever closed due to the snow. She says that it is important to her that her facility remains open.
Until it is apparent to me that I need to close, I will not close.
Now, Governor Inslee today asking people to treat the situation as it was in World War II. He says, help one another, even with childcare. In Spokane, I'm Ayana Likens, KHQ Local News.
All right, Ayana, thank you. Well, the Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward has come in today. Thank you so much.
You bet.
You have a ton on your plate, but really right now what we want to talk about is why now should we not be panicking?
Well, I just want to let you know that, and I want to thank the Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich today, stood up the Emergency Operations Center. And so I want the public to know that we are prepared and we are working on a plan constantly. That plan evolves just as the situation evolves. And that command center is a great opportunity for us to work regionally with our partners to coordinate the information that flows out of that, the resources that are compiled to meet the needs of our community. So I think more than anything, just reassure the community that we have a plan in place and we're working on that plan and we're working with everybody so that we're all on the same page.
Well, it's not hard not to sense the pandemonium out there. You know, when people are rushing to the stores and grabbing the toilet paper and all the necessities that they need to quarantine themselves if possible. What are you anticipating?
You know, I'm just anticipating a city and a county and all of our partners that are ready for whatever comes our way. I mean, things escalated quite a bit today with the closing of schools for the next 6 weeks. And now we're looking at, as a city, internally for our own employees, because the city really is, it's like a business. So we're addressing the needs of our own employees as well as trying to address the needs of our community. So just know that we have great people who are experts in these areas that are working to make sure that all of our public is safe, that it stays healthy, that bell curve that Dr. Bob Lutz earlier today in his news conference at 11 o'clock from the Health District talked about. I mean, we don't have a confirmed case yet, but even in his own words, we know the coronavirus is here, but let's keep that bell curve as flat as possible.
Well, with parents now too, and you and I have been parents that had school children at one point. You can be, especially if you have a job that's very tough and you need to be there. Are you putting a plan in place right now?
We're working all through the weekend. We're even surveying our own employees to find out which employees maybe need to bring their kids to work, or what do they have a place to take their children. If they don't, what can we help them in that area do? And then looking at the community as well. I'm meeting with the school district tomorrow and meeting with Shelley Redinger from the Spokane School District to find out how the city can assist and what the schools are doing too.
So all to unfold.
Absolutely. We have 60% of our students in Spokane Public Schools that rely on the morning and the afternoon meals. So what are we going to do to meet those needs? So those are all conversations that we're going to have. It's going to be nonstop work. But we're ready to do it.
And not only that, I mean, we've got the schools, the parents, small businesses as well, and the vulnerable in our community. Do you have a plan in place? We have a lot of homeless people. It's snowing right now. What are we going to do?
Well, we just worked with our CHHS department, and we have beds available all through the weekend, through the snow, and through the cold temperatures that we're going to experience over the weekend. So we have places for them. As far as the vulnerable population, I would ask families just to take care of your families. You know, heed to the protocols that our health experts are telling us. You know, cough etiquette, social distancing. You and I are a little close right now.
Right.
But all of those things that we can be doing to keep our families safe, that's the #1 thing too.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking your time. We know you're very busy, but please keep us posted. If you know anything, if you learn anything, please, you know exactly what we do, and that's getting the information out correctly and as quickly as we can.
And I appreciate that you guys do that, and I'd love to work with you, so we'll let you know when anything is updated.
Mayor, thank you.
Yeah, you
appreciate it. All right. Well, right now we're going to be talking with the Spokane Regional Health District pretty soon, and a reversal, of course, from the governor's office, from the plan that Dr. Bob Lutz recommended here locally. Corey Howard has been following this all day. Corey, Dr. Lutz recommended that local districts remain open, but the governor said no way.
Yeah, Steph, at the press conference today, it wasn't exactly the announcement that many of us had anticipated, but it does seem to be the next logical step in the battle to contain coronavirus. A ban on public gatherings of 250 people or more for the next 30 days.
I recommend starting today, but formally going into effect at 5 p.m. tonight. During this critical public health situation. The canceling of large community events and gatherings in excess of 250 people for at least 30 days.
A decision you can see Dr. Bob Lutz didn't take lightly Friday morning when announcing the next step to stop the spread of COVID-19 in the Spokane area. An official ban now in effect for large gatherings, including sporting events, concerts, festivals, conferences, places of worship, regional events where people come from outside the area. Basically, any settings where indoor social distancing is not possible, on hold for the next 30 days. Missing from that list, and certainly on the minds of parents, students, and faculty, the closing of schools.
By far and away, it is probably the one decision which will impact the most number of individuals across our community.
Of course, just 3 hours later, Governor Inslee issuing an executive order to close all schools in Washington. Closing schools creates a domino effect. If kids are home, parents either have to scramble to find childcare or stay at home themselves. That affects businesses if people stay home from work, and potentially the healthcare system itself if those who are staying home are healthcare professionals who are forced to stay home with their children versus staying in the hospital and taking care of sick patients. In the meantime, the health district says the next 30 days will be used to mobilize the healthcare system, something that simply can't get overwhelmed if we're going to effectively fight this virus.
I need to be looking at the impact on the healthcare system first and foremost. It has to be strong and flexible. And if it's overwhelmed, then it's not going to be able to not only care for those individuals affected by COVID-19, but those individuals who routinely fall upon it for their care.
Let's use the analogy of a flood. If we get all the rain at once, the system becomes overwhelmed and it can't function properly. But if that rain is spread out, it becomes much more manageable, which is what officials are hoping to accomplish in the next 30 days with a ban on large public gatherings. And I did talk with the sheriff's office today about possible enforcement of that ban, and they said it's going to be a case-by-case basis. Are they going to go around and count every single person at an event to make sure there's less than 250 people there? No, but if they come across an event that's obviously more than 250 people under this ban, they can certainly order it to be shut down. Reporting in Spokane, Corey Howard, KHQ Local News.
Corey, thank you. And containing the coronavirus tonight, things are changing minute by minute, but we want to get you caught up with some big headlines with your coronavirus quick six. First and foremost, we want to reiterate all schools in Washington state are closing, both public and private. Most districts will have classes on Monday to help transition, but then starting Tuesday, they are closing. They will stay closed through April 24th. That's a Friday, so the idea is that schools will reopen on the following Monday, April 27th. Districts are working right now to develop a nutrition and child care plan for families. Idaho Governor Brad Little declared a state of emergency today because of the coronavirus, shortly after Idaho announced the state's first confirmed case in Ada County, which is in the southern part of the state. This afternoon, Sheriff Knezovich, as the director of the Greater Spokane Department of Emergency Management, announced they were activating the Emergency Operations Center. He also called for a meeting of all the stakeholders on Monday to talk about a coordinated effort to ensure our community's welfare. Tonight, the local blood donation clinic Vitalant says they have an urgent need for blood. They rely on blood drives put together by schools and small businesses, but unfortunately those aren't happening right now. Vitalant says if you can donate blood, please consider it. Now today, the FCC announced companies like AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon have agreed not to cut off service for people who can't pay their bills because of the coronavirus for the next 2 months. They've also agreed to open Wi-Fi hotspots for anyone who needs them. And finally, tonight, there's only one coronavirus patient left at Sacred Heart. 4 were being treated there, 3 have gone home. The 4th is doing well, but you need 2 negative tests in a row to get out. While they can't tell us for sure, that most likely hasn't happened yet. And a bonus for you here, we asked the health district today for an update about the 4 Whitworth community members who are being tested, but they say they still haven't gotten their test results back. In the newsroom, I'm Claire Graham. Stephanie?
All right, Claire, thank you. A reminder that on our website at KHQ.com, look for all the coronavirus coverage that we have, including the latest information as it comes in. Just go to KHQ.com and click on the coronavirus tab at the top of the web page. All right, coming up tonight on NBC Nightly News, continuing coverage of the coronavirus pandemic. Lester Holt helps answer viewer questions about health and safety. Along with everything else, we're also in a weather authority alert right now because it's been snowing for much of the afternoon. This video sent to us from Karen Swift, sharing on Sydney Stell's Facebook page. It looks lovely, but I like the sun a little better, Blake.
Yeah, and you know, just on top of everything else that's going on, of course, have to throw this in there. This is the winter storm we've been talking about all week long. The good news, if there is a silver lining right now, is that we're going to miss the snow sticking on the roads by the skin of our teeth for that evening commute. I take a look at the DOT cameras out there. Mostly the roads just wet right now. That could have been a whole other mess. Even though that snow has been falling for a while, it hasn't been sticking yet. That's going to start to change as we go into the night tonight. Winter storm warning still in place across the northern interior. That's where we're expecting the heaviest snow, 3 to 7 inches of snow through tomorrow morning. Parts of the Waterville Plateau could get 5 to 9 inches of snow, and the rest of us under this winter weather advisory, including Spokane, out to Moses Lake, the Columbia Basin, could see 1 to 4 inches of snow. There also could be a couple of pockets a little bit higher along that Highway 2 corridor, so certainly some areas to watch there. Again, right now, it's not really sticking to the roadways. We're seeing some snow on those grassy surfaces, but you take a look at the Sky Tracker radar, and the snow kind of mirroring right along I-90. So north of I-90, we're seeing snow showers. South of I-90, we're seeing rain. That is all snow through Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. As we go through the next hour or two, those temperatures are going to start to drop on the roadways, and it's going to start to stick on the road. So the earlier you can get home, the better, as things could start to go a little bit more downhill as we go through the evening tonight. Still rain across the lower Columbia Basin at the moment. Snow showers continuing through the night tonight, and then look at that cold air moving in. We're going to drop all the way down into the teens for our overnight lows. On top of that, the wind also picking up. That's the other part of this winter storm. We've got wind advisories and high wind warnings in place as well. We're going to be talking much more about that when I see you right back here after the break.
Breaking now.
Breaking news now, and the Department of Health has just updated its coronavirus numbers. Positive confirmations were at 366 yesterday. Today, here in our state, they're at 457 with 31 deaths. Still no confirmed cases in Spokane County. The closest is Kittitas County, where there are 3 confirmed cases but no deaths. We're tracking the breakdown of ages right now on KHQ.com. All right, let's check your weather forecast.
Yeah, and a lot to talk about there as well. Hard to believe it looks like this right now, and it is going to be so different in just about 24 hours from now as winter is going to make its return to the inland northwest. This is that winter storm we've been talking about all week long. It's going to start tomorrow for a lot of us, getting light snow and rain snow mix showers throughout the day, kind of off and on, but I think it's going to have a hard time sticking through the day tomorrow. It's tomorrow night into Saturday morning that we're really watching that time frame. That's when the temperatures are really going to start to drop. The snow is going to pick up as well as the winds, and that could cause blowing snow, reduced visibility, and difficult driving conditions into early Saturday morning. That's where I think most of us will pick up our snow that is actually going to stick into early Saturday. And then on Saturday, the big story is just how cold it's going to be. We're going to have the snow on the ground and then the wind picking up as well, and that's going to make for wind chill temperatures that are going to be below 0 Saturday morning, and we'll still have some snow showers left over to start the day on Saturday. Here's the system that we're watching. You can see it just off the coast coast of British Columbia, the moisture out ahead of it, that's what's going to be pulling into the inland northwest as we go into the day tomorrow. That's going to meet up with Arctic air dropping out of the north, and this is a classic snow setup for widespread snow across the inland northwest. And when it comes to the impact of it, the worst of it going to be felt across those northern tiers. That's where we have a winter storm warning in place. That's a little bit more severe than the winter weather advisories that pretty much everywhere else in central eastern Washington and North Idaho are under. Northern counties could pick up 3 to 7 inches of snow starting tomorrow morning and then all the way through the day on Saturday. So that's cumulative. On top of that, we could see winds gusting up to 45 miles per hour in those areas. Now, for the majority of the rest of us, we're under a winter weather advisory. That includes Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, out across the Columbia Basin, where we could pick up generally 1 to 3 inches of snow. Could see a couple of pockets with more than that, and then 1 to 4 inches of snow out across parts of the lower Columbia Basin. That includes like the Tri-Cities to Yakima up into the Cascades, where we could see 5 to 10 inches of snow up and over the mountains. So let's get to the Futurecast, time this whole thing out, because again, everything's starting to change even by early tomorrow morning. Watch as the moisture starts to move in. We've got light scattered snow showers possibly as early as 7 o'clock tomorrow morning across that northern tier. As we go into the afternoon, it starts to center across central portions of Washington. We might see a few spotty light snow showers and rain-snow mix showers around Spokane, Coeur d'Alene through about the middle of the day. It's really as we head into the evening, we start seeing some more snow along Highway 2. It could start to stick a little bit as we go into the nighttime hours, so something to watch there for that evening commute. And then as we go overnight, there it is. That's when that snow is going to pick up. The temperatures are going to drop, and that's where we could pick up the majority of our snow that is actually going to stick into early Saturday morning. So if you have plans early Saturday to be out on the roads, I would start to rethink it a little bit, at least be extra cautious about what's going to be going on. Where we could get a little bit of snow to stick during the day tomorrow, the northern panhandle where it's barely going to get above freezing, that's where we could get a little bit of that snow to stick. But again, tomorrow generally not too bad. Rain, snow, mix showers as temperatures in the 40s for the Columbia Basin. The Palouse low to mid 40s with some rain, snow, mix showers throughout the day and around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. We could be seeing snow showers. It's just going to have a hard time sticking until we go overnight and into Saturday morning. Look at these temperatures, 17 degrees, but with that wind, it's going to feel like it's in the single digits or below zero by Saturday morning. High temperature of only 26 degrees on Saturday. We could be setting records for how cold our high temperatures are on Saturday. Good news is this storm system doesn't stick around long, and by the time we get into next week, we warm back up, sun comes back out just in time for the official start of spring.
Live from the Pasanel Sports Studio, SWX on KHQ starts right now. This is an SWX special sports presentation, Drive for the Title, powered by Coeur d'Alene Casino.
Drive for the Title cut short. Hello, everyone. Joe McHale here outside the CenturyLink Arena in downtown Boise, the site of the 2020 Big Sky Conference Tournament Basketball Championships. At least it was. Today was supposed to be day 4 of the tournament, but the word coming out earlier this morning that it has been canceled, much like so many sporting events, as well as the NCAA tournament. Now, quick story, just a moment ago, a local walked by, asked me what had happened. No joke, so I filled him in. So life goes on here in Boise, but for a couple teams, they are going home early. As you look at this video, you see them tearing off the banners from the CenturyLink Arena. Completely empty inside. No one is allowed inside the arena. Now, Eastern Washington men, they were supposed to have their quarterfinal matchup today at noon local time against Sacramento State. They were, of course, the #1 seed in the tournament after getting the second ever outright title in the Big Sky. They are going home early. And then the Idaho women, they were supposed to play Montana State tomorrow for the Big Sky Championship. Of course, those plans cut short as well. So a couple of teams heading home early, saddened by this, but completely understanding of the reasons for it. I ran into a fan earlier today down here outside the arena. She had flown in today to catch some of the games. Of course, also disappointed. Take a listen.
Super bummed out for Mason and for Tyler Kidd. Oh my God, I feel so bad for them, especially Mason having the season that he did, MVP, and just not having the chance to be an MVP for the tournament. Just super bummed out. I mean, it's what's best for everybody. If we want to stop the spread, we got to kind of stop being in public places all at once. So, yeah.
Yeah, so a couple teams headed early, not, of course, by the outcome of the game. So that is going to do it for us here. We'll be right back after the break. Reporting in Boise, Joe McHale for SWX.
Well, we leave you with a feel-good story right now. If there's a silver lining to be found in all of the cancellations of sports this week, it may have happened last night in Boise, where the Big Sky Conference tournament was supposed to be played. After those games were canceled, a Portland State assistant coach decided to make the most of a situation. With their family and friends already in town, Jace and Lindsay Coburn tied the knot. And get this, they planned the impromptu wedding in just 2 hours. Joe McHale will have that exclusive story tonight at 6 o'clock. All right, Lester Holt is next with NBC Nightly News. Of course, we'll be back here for all your local news tonight at 6 o'clock.